da.
Ah! How you doing, Robert family? How's every single one of you today? Thank you so much for being with us one more time. And Thursday, once again, we're here for NXT. Jean-Paul Egg, Juanzo, like usual, right here bringing the best reviews in the community. And we're going to start right now. But before, just want to say, hey, like Jean-Paul was saying to me the last time, like Thursday is not the greatest night in wrestling. It's actually Wednesday. But on Thursday we review it, so
But
that's why.
Thursday is the greatest night for all you YouTube, podcast fans of wrestling because you get double rope break. What more could you
That's
ask
right.
for?
Yeah, you get like in the morning you get AEW, and this is what I was gonna say. Please check out all the content that we have this week. We have a great review from Jean Paul Eck, Raw, talking about like a show that like started out good, a good ladder match, but again disappointing at the end. Awful main event, yeah.
Yep, that's what.
And Jean Paul came back with one of the most successful series in Robert history. Jean Paul Wrestling Hall having like another opening another wrestling crate. This time it's all about Canada, talking about Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens, Bret the Hitman Hart, rated R superstar that might be making a return. We don't know yet. It's Royal Rumble weekend, so we don't know. We're hoping for the rated R superstar to make a return. And also Jean Paul, great review on AEW, talking
Thank you.
about the show from the Jericho's Cruise, new tag team champions, John Moxley, number one contender for the AEW Heavyweight Championship with Chris Jericho. Extremely great reviews. All that content is on there in the channel. So, guys, always, please check us out. We love to have new members, and I want to say thank you and welcome to the Elites, like one of our newest members. Thank you so very much for being with us. And now let's get to it, Jean Paul. NXT, great episode. In my eyes, Jean Paul, I will say a little better than AEW this time. A little better for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like I said at the end of my Dynamite review, I was like both shows were great, but I wasn't gonna get too much into NXT. I wanted to save it for here, but like I said, both shows were fantastic. But I think NXT got the slight edge just because of there was just the main event was so much better. I thought, and you just had you know like I don't know, it just felt more because I guess the way to describe it is without like shitting on AEW too much before we get into it because I do like what they're doing. I feel they focus just on too many people. You watch NXT, and how many people do we care about in NXT? We care about heel Finn Balor, the Undisputed Era, even though I said they're a little overexposed. I will agree with that. We see them every week all the time. That
Yep.
gets a little boring. But, we still care about them. And you have Keith Lee, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, all these guys, Pete Dunne, Matt Riddle, they have so many people who were invested in, and that's who NXT focuses on. While AEW, they kind of like, Joey Janela, yeah, a little bit. Like Sean Spears, who's that? Darby
Ooh.
Allin, a little bit. It's mostly Kenny and the Elite, and Cody. That's who their focus is on. Jericho, the Inner Circle. You need to like instead of being focused like this, you need to broaden it like your horizons and focus on your whole roster, not
I
just the
agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. Like
because
I just.
that's
Yeah.
why
Go,
I like
finish the
I
thought. Yeah.
like NXT more. It's just and then not even just all the men. Then you have so many of the women. You have the storyline: Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai, Tony Storm, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, the Shotzi Blackheart. Now her feud with Shayna Baszler. There's so much to NXT, and I don't want to hear the argument of AEW's only had X amount of weeks of television because it shouldn't take this long. The first, month or two, I understand now, but it's like you can build storylines. NXT's building these storylines like this. So,
It is, yeah, like, and that's the biggest issue. I want to say, like, AEW just, like, they just focus, like you said, in just a few guys, and like, they should be like 1 week, for example. 1 week we get Darby Allin, the next week we get Sean Spears. Like, give me like NXT a little
yeah,
bit of
like,
everything.
yeah, like we
You know,
didn't see Tommaso Ciampa this week. We didn't see
give
Johnny
me
Gargano. A
diversity.
little bit of
Yeah,
highlights from, DIY forming to hype up the Worlds Collide, but that was it.
that's it. And you say you focus on other people that are there.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe they might not make the pay per view of Worlds Collide, but what are they want to do? What are we doing with them? Hey, let's feature on TV. That way, everybody gets a piece of the pie. Correct?
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what AEW, and also like the show was taped, so there were spoilers everywhere. We knew what was happening. Although in the numbers, AEW beat NXT 1 more week. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
yeah,
I figured it would because it was like I said, the Rock and Rager at sea, Chris Jericho's cruise. You have like, and I'm not gonna just be mean and say all the marks, but it's like everybody wants to see that because it was something different, and it was like everybody was real hot for the show last week, the Bash at the Beach. So this was like the part two they call like the continuation kind of.
yeah.
So
It was a good show, but I'm in this week I'm staying with NXT
yeah, I
because
I
it was
agree.
a lot.
NXT had the slight edge. I'm not gonna
It,
say it was a heck of a lot better, but it had the slight edge for
it
me.
was it was yeah. This is light edges. That's tiny bit that like for me it did it better. And we have somebody that is basking in his glory. So we have a new North American NXT champion in the presence of Keith Lee.
My boy.
Come Yeah,
I
so
have
he's
so many. See,
basking
that's
in his glory.
NXT's filled with my boys. I only have like one or two boys in AEW, but everyone's my boy in NXT.
NXT is like is the whole boy. It's like
It is.
for you, it's like the whole NWO. Like just
It
gonna
is.
put him right next to you. Like don't be doing that. Remember what happened with WCW,
Yeah.
or start hating some of them. Okay,
Yep.
don't be loving all of them. But like we have a new North American champion, so it was a great show for me, and we cannot wait for Worlds Collide. It's gonna be an absolutely great show. We're gonna be covering all of that because my fellow right there, Jean Paul, great reviews, and me, we're gonna do every single time our best to cover every single good thing, event, anything that is going on in the world of professional wrestling. So let's get right to it, family. Opening segment. We get a recap of last week, including the Undisputed Era trying to take out the Keith Lee, the return of Shayna Baszler. That again, to me, crappy. We'll elaborate a little more when we get to that. And then we get also Walter calls out the Undisputed Era ahead of the Worlds Collide shown on Saturday. We get the first match, Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly against the Grills, young veterans. And Jean Paul here called it. He is one of the best bookers, underrated, I don't know, really low profile, but Jean Paul is booking the shows in the exact same way that they should be booked because he said, is like, the Imperium is going to come out and they're going to mess up with the Undisputed Era. What happened? Imperium came out, Undisputed Era, like they got distracted, and the Grills young veterans get the win. So Jean Paul, thank you so much for like actually have an actual booker right next to me. So
Yeah,
like
no problem.
WrestleMania, like if you I want to hear is what's gonna happen in WrestleMania
Well,
after the show is over.
you don't want to hear what I think is gonna happen, but
Well, but like no, I want to because it might happen because the way that you're doing the show is absolutely outstanding. So, in your opinion, good match, great, okay, so. How was
yeah,
this
I
match?
mean, it was a fantastic match. The grizzled young veterans. Last week I was a little salty. They beat my boys. I said because everyone's my boy, Kushida and Alex Shelley. So it's like, the time splitters. You reunite them and then they lose. But it's like, that's how you build a heel because everybody was so behind the time splitters. And then it's like, well, if they would have won, the Grizzled Young Veterans would just be like, all right, what are they? Just the NXT UK's version of the Forgotten Sons? Like, who are these guys? So you get them wins, and now they get that heat because it's like, oh, we didn't want you to win, so we hate you. You beat the team we wanted to see win. So that I was like, okay, I respect that. And then this week against Undisputed Era, I was thinking, well, they got to win because Undisputed Era is not going to win. So it was like but you can't have Undisputed Era lose clean. Now, I mean, you could have, but that really would have been like, oh shit. That would have been like really had the grizzled young veterans, they would have been skyrocketed then if they would have beat them clean. So then that's the whole thing, with the beatdown at Blackpool 2, it just all set up for the Imperium getting involved. But I mean, just besides that, everything we saw in the ring, just the talent wise, these four guys were fantastic.
Yeah, it was like you said, it was a great match, and yeah, the Grills Young Veterans to me like they're a really solid team, being coming from the UK, like you said, really heels, but Shawn Michaels loves them,
Hmm.
and we couldn't, in my opinion, you could not have the Undisputed Era losing be clean just because like you would lose all the hype.
Yeah.
It's Worlds Collide, Imperium, Undisputed Era. You both of these teams needed to go extremely good for the pay per view. So especially Undisputed Era because you know that like they're pretty much untouchable in NXT in all WWE. For
Hmm.
the past 2 years or so, like they've been taking care of this staple like no other staple in WWE, like probably 10 years, 10, 15 years.
No,
So
yeah.
they needed to protect them, and like you said, knowing your booking abilities, this is what happened. We're gonna go through all the spots in the match, and the match started with O'Reilly and Gibson. They trade like logs until O'Reilly gets Gibson in the corner and lays into him with forearms. Gibson gets O'Reilly into the corner and tags James Drake. Drake gets the apron and then also is distracted by Bobby Fish. So Kyle O'Reilly hits the Dragon Screw on James Drake and then tags Bobby Fish. Then we can go back to commercial break. Fish and Gibson are legal on the legal man. Bobby Fish goes to a knee bar, but Gibson reaches the ropes, and then Fish hits Gibson with a back suplex. I really enjoy like Bobby Fish. Like when he's on fire, when he's on in the zone, he's a really good wrestler. I
Oh my
saw a
God, yeah.
match, in Ring of Honor with AJ Styles and Bobby
Hmm.
Fish. Extremely great match. So these guys, I'm getting behind Bobby Fish a little more because I thought that like he wasn't as great, but now that I'm
Hmm.
seeing this side of him, I'm really getting into him. So we get Drake gets the tag in and hits a corner dropkick on Fish. Then he gets the Helter Skelter on Fish for a 2 count. Helter Skelter, of course, they got to do with Beatles. They got to do the
Hmm.
Beatles reference right there. So of course they have to do that. Let's go to like the final moments of the match. O'Reilly is out of the ring. Fish and O'Reilly hit some tag team offense on James Drake, but Imperium's music hits. Imperium's music hits, and they stand on the platform above the commentary team. During the distraction, Sam Gibson pulls Bobby Fish out of the ring, and James Drake pins Kyle O'Reilly for the 3 count, and the Grills Young Veterans go to the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. They did the finisher that like there is like a code breaker. You
Hmm.
you know you probably remember the name because Jean Paul is on point
Oh
always.
well, see now you put me on the spot, and I can't.
But it's
I,
just like it's
yeah,
like the
yeah. I
code
forget.
breaker.
I forget what it's called, but yeah, it's a legit finisher. I want to say something like chaos or it's something like that, but I don't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, but it's good.
Is a really good finisher. And hey, one more time, like we said, the Grizz Young Veterans are the ones that advance to the final, and they get the win over the Undisputed Era, but thanks to the help of Imperium. So the match itself was absolutely outstanding. Both of the teams like came out solid, and see the Undisputed Era doesn't lose hype because of their distraction. Imperium was the one that caused them the match. So
Exactly,
once
and that's
again,
and that's what I mean. Like, so it was all good because it continued. Building the hype and stuff for Worlds Collide. You get you are able to eliminate the tag team champs from the Dusty Classic, so you don't get them in the finals because nobody wants to see them win again, as good as they are. Undisputed Era. We don't need to see them win, so it gets them out, and now you have a good heel team to go against. What we saw later in the night to probably be the team that everyone is behind, the clear babyface team that was left in this tournament of the
exactly.
Broserweights.
Exactly. So, Undisputed Era, they're all in the ring furious at Imperium, shouting and pacing around the ring. Then we get a video package recapping Rhea Ripley's rise to the top of the women's division. And then we get Toni Storm calling her out on the NXT television. We're going to get a rematch from the Mae Young Classic. The finals on 2018 is going to be Io Shirai and Toni Storm. But before that, we get a promo from Shotzi Blackheart. She cuts a promo saying that she made a statement by eliminating Shayna Baszler, and then she will make even a bigger statement when she goes one-on-one with Shayna later in the night. So Shotzi, like you said, is one of your new girls, right, Jean Paul? She's one
Yeah,
of
that's what
like
I mean. When she came in, I heard she was signed to NXT. I haven't seen like a match or anything, but just from what I hear, it's like, oh, she's really good, really talented, like and she had a lot of fanfare behind her. So I was excited. She had a good showing in the Battle Royal. Obviously, it was crazy, it was all over the place. But once you kind of trimmed the fat, so to speak, and there was only a few women left in it, she was thrown out of the ring, but through the ropes, not over the top, and she came back in, eliminated Shayna Baszler, so you knew that was going to be a big thing. There's no way Shayna was just going to get eliminated and just be like, okay, whatever. So you knew she was coming back, and when they booked this match, I wasn't going to say that I was worried, but in a sense, I was like, I really hope they don't make Shotzi look like, I hope they book her good, not that they make her look bad, and they just bury her. And it was a good match. I thought and the one thing I appreciate, we'll get to it at the end, is there was no instant tap. She wasn't in the lock, and it
oh
was
yeah,
like she
oh
fought,
yeah.
she fought, she fought, and then eventually. But
And
that's what I
she's
mean.
been
She was
saying
still,
that forever.
yeah.
Don't tap right away. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I appreciated, and she's definitely, like we said, the women's division down there. And Mercedes Martinez, there's so many new faces they're adding. So does that mean that come WrestleMania, they're gonna maybe take 5 or so women? Boom, main roster. If I could guess, if Io Shirai's staying, she's going up to the main roster. Bianca Belair, I'm gonna say, unfortunately, when she loses, main roster. There's a bunch of women who I think are gonna be set for the main roster. that they're going
Yeah,
to move them up. So then that's why I think these new batch of women is going to take Shayna Baszler's another one. That's three women right there. So,
and three
people
of
like,
your pretty much your like your main event talent over
yeah,
there. So right away, like very quick, Jean Paul, what do you think about this new thing that WWE is implementing? Is like they took away the name women out of the championships. Like you're not allowed to call women, for example, the NXT Women's Championship. It's just going to be the NXT champion and the NXT UK women, champion. They took away the women's just because Becky Lynch went into WWE backstage and say, oh, they need to stop making this like gender wise. It should just be called champion. So they're
yeah,
going
I
to
mean,
make it like, like no gender
yeah.
in the name.
Yeah, I mean everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I'm not gonna say Becky's wrong. It's like whatever. It doesn't make a difference to me. It's still a title that's being held by women, so it's still technically the women's championship. I don't know if all this is coming off the cusp of Tessa Blanchard winning the men's championship, and then it's like, well, now you're not locked to your, gender specific championship. Now it's you can, but there's no what's Becky Lynch gonna challenge Brock Lesnar? No, you know what I
Yeah,
mean. So there's no. So like I said, I really don't care. They could call it whatever championship they want. They could call it the gender neutral champ. You know what I mean? I don't really care what they call it. But at the end of the day, like to me, I don't think it was that big a deal if you call it the women's championship. It's just like because that's what you are and that's the championship you're fighting for, and it's like it doesn't make a difference. It's still because I don't view like the women's championship as less prestigious than the men's. Especially like in NXT. Maybe the main roster because you had people like Charlotte and like these bullshit champions hold it. But, Becky was legit, so to speak. Her feuds with Lacey Evans and stuff weren't that good. But, like, if you build the championship up, it doesn't matter if you call it women's championship. You could call it the freaking Toys R Us plastic championship. If the title is being held and, like, there's legit matches for it, then it makes it prestigious. The name
it,
means
that
nothing.
and that's the real meaning that you're
Yeah.
supposed to have it. Yeah, because for example, we were saying nobody knows that like the IC champion is Shinsuke Nakamura because he never defends the title.
Yeah, and
He
look at
doesn't do
like when
anything with it.
look when Jinder Mahal held the WWE championship. It was a prestigious title, but they put it on a loser. So
And
it's like,
what
what does it
happened?
matter what you call the title? It matters who it's on and who's holding it.
Automatically became meaningless.
Yep.
So yeah, for me, my opinion on this, like you, like I don't care the gender. Although like women's, fighting women, that's what it should have been. If you want to do it like transgender, whatever, it's fine. Like I just feel that like it should Becky Lynch shouldn't be asking these things. I think they're doing it just because like to counterattack the effect of Tessa Blanchard. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, hey, is your women's division, is your men's division, and if they're gonna do that, like I think like it's kind of like going like Booker T said. I wouldn't go as far as the lens as saying that's the worst decision ever, but I'm just saying like, hey, don't imitate Impact. Do your
Hmm.
own thing, and that's what, for example, like that's what NXT has always done the best. Is just like differentiate for any other promotion. So keep being truthful to yourself. So moving forward, Mr. Eck, Tony Storm and Io Shirai, like I said, I was a little worried because I love both women. So I'm like, one of them is going to be the loser here. So hopefully, like you said to me in the text, is like if Shirai loses, then she's done. What's there for her to do? So
Yeah.
thankfully that didn't happen. We're gonna go over all the match, but at least we got a decent match, and this hypes Tony Storm a little bit more for her match with Rhea
Hmm.
Ripley at Worlds Collide.
Yeah. And take us through the match, and then I want to tell you, John Paul, the Booker man. I want to tell you what I'm smelling and what I'm feeling. I get a little tingly in my fingers after
I
this match.
cannot
So
wait for Booker the Jean Paul the Booker like because
the
I know
book.
that like Jean Paul will never be like Kevin Nash, so we're good on that. So let's take some spots on the match. Storm uppercuts Shirai and a few times and goes for a German suplex, but Shirai blocks it and she goes on the outside. Shirai then hits a single leg drop kick to Storm's face from the apron. Then Shirai covers Storm for a 2 count, and then she's back in the ring. Then Shirai and Storm trade strikes, but Shirai gets Storm in a headlock on the ground. Storm tries to fight out the hole, but Shirai levels with her series of strikes and covers her for a 2 count. Tony Storm kicks out, and then we go to commercial break. Then we go like to the final close, like the closing moments of the match. Storm went for the Storm Zero, but Shirai counters and runs to the ropes. Storm turns Shirai onto the inside out with a clothesline, then covers for then a 2 count. And then we get to see Bianca Belair comes out of nowhere and catches Storm with like a forearm to the face before Storm can hit the dive. Belair beats on Storm and Shirai, taunting in the ring. But then Rhea Ripley's music hits and comes down the ramp, staring at Bianca Belair because, of course, they're going to have the match at NXT TakeOver Portland. And then Shirai hits a moonsault onto both of the women, and then she's celebrated. Toni Storm hits a dive onto E on the outside, and then Toni Storm is the only woman left in the ring, and she grabs Ripley's title and then holds it above her head. So, legit match. I really enjoyed it. But, I mean, they did the right thing for making Bianca Belair coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Because like we said, we were both worried because, yeah, you couldn't have been Storm 0, 1, 2, 3, because then Io's done. Then you might as well clean out her locker and say, thank you for everything you've done. Go back to Japan where you want to go because...
Get married to
yeah,
devil, whatever your
yeah,
fiance says,
yeah. So, like, they booked it correctly here. And I don't know if you picked up on this. When Toni was the only one, and I like how Io, she hit the springboard moonsault, whatever you want to call it, and then she took out both women. So she had that moment, and then Toni hit her. I would like to see that feud because that was, I think, the Mae Young Classic when Toni won. I think that was the finals they said, and I was actually rooting for Io to win that. So I would like to see them revisit that feud because now they were both baby faces. Now you have a heel Io, so that would be a cool feud to do, but. The thing is, when Toni, she picked up that title, she was the only woman standing in the ring. The crowd was booing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you picked up on that. The crowd was booing, and she held up the title. This could be a heel Toni Storm because Rhea Ripley's face, we can't have face versus face. I mean, you can, but how exciting is that?
Oh, yeah.
It would be so much cooler if Toni turns heel and maybe, not like... you do something, not like a gear change or something, but maybe just like an attitude change. I feel like, because she does look kind of like a punk rocker almost, like...
Yeah,
and stuff.
you don't need, like the hair gear doesn't really, fits a face or a heel, it
Yeah,
works
that's what I mean.
either way.
Yeah, so like you just change the attitude a little bit and just come off like cocky to be like, I won the Mae Young Classic. I was I was NXT UK champion and all this stuff. So she could come out and just be like me, be cocky, be a little bit more of a heel, because that's what I feel like they need to do. Maybe change her heel to not that she's stale or boring or anything, but it would just be a good character change. I feel.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I think they're gonna do at some point soon.
I agree, and then see, I think that like they boo Toni Storm because we gotta admit that like she's not as popular in the United States. For example, Rhea Ripley, and everybody and all the female like talent in in the NXT America, so to say.
Mm-hmm.
I think Toni Storm is a little bit more over in Europe.
Oh, so yeah, she is. Oh, I would agree with that. But that's not to say she's not like, over with this crowd. I think they're just, they, like I said, they know because the whole time they're cheering for Io Shirai. They don't want her to see her leave. They know how talented she is. And I'm sure 90% of the people in that arena think she should have beat Shayna Baszler.
Oh, yeah.
At least, and I'm not saying she needed to have a long title reign. She could have beat Shayna Baszler, held it for 2 months, which I don't like short title reigns, but at least give her the belt
for a little
bit.
And then
Shayna,
then
Shayna could have challenged her at the next takeover and won it back. But then at least she would have had the belt, and then her name would have went down in the history books.
That's
Io Shirai, NXT
for
Women's
example,
Champion.
I don't agree with like the NXT and Triple H and creative. Like they never pulled the trigger on Io Shirai. Like you said, she should have been champion at least for like a month, maybe 2, whatever. But like she should have been champion because
and that's what I think. Yeah, that's why I think the fans are really behind her.
If she leaves, what did she do? Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because finally in the Mae Young Classic, lost.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of championship matches, never won. So she's never really had a meaningful win ever.
And it's not like she's making because Stardom or Shimmer or whichever company she would go to, they're offering her more money than NXT. So it's not even like she was making, crazy money. No. I mean, she might have been, but she's getting offered more money. So it's like, why would I stay? My husband or fiance, whatever he is with her, is over in Japan, and they're offering her more money. So it's a win-win to go back, and it's a lose-lose to stay here. So you got to do something. Either give more money or give her the belt.
Give her the belt. Give her something like entice her to stay. It's like, hey, you're gonna be her champion. Like I said, you're gonna be the one that like now that Shayna is gone, you're gonna be feuding against Rhea Ripley all the time. So you're gonna be like our main heel. Mm-hmm. Hey, you're gonna have the championships back and forth with Ripley. Hey, do something for her to stay. Mm-hmm. So at least I'm glad that like she didn't lose. So they protected her, and now also Storm, and then also they taunted a little more what's gonna happen in Takeover Portland with Bianca Belair. So that was good. I really enjoy how they protect all the women here. We'll
Mm-hmm.
see what happens on Worlds Collide. The idea of Tony Storm becoming a heel, absolutely. The seeds are right there. She was so upset of like the loss in Blackpool,
Yeah,
and
you so
let's
like I
say,
said,
hey,
she almost threw like a temper tantrum, like a
yes,
spoiled kid.
yes, and now let's say Saturday she loses again. What
Mm-hmm.
do you do when you're frustrated? What do you do
Oh,
when you don't know
that's what
anything
I
to do?
mean. When she, yeah,
Boom.
that the heel turn is like I
It,
said, it's coming. I
yeah, like
smell it.
it's snap, heel turn, and like even the music, like the Power Rangers theme song that she has,
Mm-hmm.
it's a heel. Like you said, it can just be like a little bit of attitude. Hey, like I don't like you guys because you boo me. Hey, all of you suck. I'm gonna go right to the top, and then you're gonna see me. So,
Mm-hmm.
just getting into the top. So backstage, Kathy Kelly tells the Undisputed Era about Imperial interference in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match. Adam Cole says that like their bigger problem at the moment is Kid Lee and making sure that Roderick Strong keeps his title. So Cole says that Imperium will pay, but the Undisputed Era is drafting gold and needs to stay that way. So we go on commercial break. Then we get some one of your boys because the
I
freaking
told you,
roster
yeah, it's like
is
being the
yours. You
NWO.
own the whole NXT.
Yep.
Get like one of the most prominent future stars if they know how to book this guy. I know you love him. Ija Dragunov cuts a
Mm-hmm.
promo on Finn Balor, saying that he will beat Balor at Worlds Collide. It's going to be a legit match. These
Mm-hmm.
two guys have the same physique, similar moveset. It's just going to be a great match,
Yeah.
especially if Finn Balor is going all the way.
This match I'm looking forward to. I mean, there's so many matches on like this when they first announced Worlds Collide. I'm thinking, okay, this is a show. We'll record it because we love you, family. But I'm like, it probably won't be that good. And then every week, I'm pretty much every Wednesday that has gone by, I'm more hyped and hyped for the show. Which to me, this is like a pay per view. It's on the same, almost the same caliber as a takeover.
Yes.
And this match, like I said, the whole show will be good, but this match for me could steal the show because I'm a huge Finn Balor fan. Elijah or Eli, I'm not even sure how to say his first name, Dragonoff.
Ilja Dragunov. Like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
he's
we're botching the Russian. We're not Russian, so we don't know how to
yeah,
say it.
but
If somebody
he,
knows how to say it, please comment, and then we'll rectify.
but I mean, he's super legit too, and like it's one of those things. I wish I had more time so I could watch NXT UK because I really want to get behind these guys because every time I see them, I'm impressed more and more.
Yes, yes. So it's gonna be a really great match, and like I said, like especially because both men, same physique, they can go at it like really, and let's say given like 15, 20 minutes that they can do what they want to do. They can tell the story they want to tell. So it's gonna be great. So we're gonna go to Finn Balor, of course. After the promo, we got to see a match with Finn Balor and Joaquin Wild. The
Hmm.
match really fast. We
Yeah,
needed something to hype Finn Balor, and see that's the kind of things that you do if you just want to have your guys, so both of them go really strong for Worlds Collide. Finn Balor just pretty much in the last segments of the match, Balor whips Wild around the ring until Wild catches him with a boot to the face. Wild runs the ropes, but Balor catches him with a drop kick. Then Balor drop kicks Wild into the corner, and then we know what's gonna happen when he drops king
yep.
somebody into the corner. Coup de grace, and Balor picks up Wild and looks at him in the camera and says, "If you come at Finn, you better not miss." And then he hits the 1916 for a pinfall, and that was it.
And that, I mean, Joaquin Wild, he's one of those guys where I think, at some point in the future, I think, he could challenge for Angel Garza. He could even be the cruiserweight champion at some point. But like his time isn't now. Unfortunately, this was his role in the enhancement job match, you want to call it. But Finn Balor looked good. And I know we touched on this before. I like how the coup de grace is now the setup. He's not finishing people with the double stomp. He hits it and then 1916 because the coup de grace, like, I mean, yeah, it's a stomp to the chest. I don't want to take that. But to me, it's so much more of a legit finisher when he hits the 1916.
Yes, I see. That's a great point that you're mentioning because I actually didn't catch that. But
Mm-hmm.
now that you're mentioning it, oh yeah, like now it become the signature.
Yeah.
The coup de grace became the signature, and
Yeah,
now
because,
1916 is the finishing move.
yeah, and I don't know if that was he might have done that in like my memory's a little fuzzy. I think he did it in NXT his first time around the 1916,
Yeah,
but before it was always the coup de grace. When he hit that, it was usually done. That was like the big finisher, and that's kind of like obviously high flying baby faces. Usually heels aren't high flying and exciting. Heels are more dastardly and stuff like that, and so that's why I'm thinking maybe he does it now, so he doesn't finish people with that high flying exciting move.
Yes,
because
yeah,
it's like,
you're
now he,
absolutely right.
yeah,
You're
because
absolutely right.
he's dropping, instead of just stomping on their chest and whatever, kind of like we always make jokes like Riho, he's doing, like, he's dropping a dude on his head, and it's like that is what, like, that's kind of like a heel move, like a brain buster, stuff like that. So, and like I said,
Exactly.
it was a quick match, makes him look strong, building him up for Worlds Collide.
Yeah, man. Like you said, I think that he probably talked to Riho and said, like, because you've been botching my move so many times, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
now I
try to do
yeah,
something
now I
different.
yeah, he's like, now I can't do it anymore. Thanks.
Thank you, because nobody believes in me, because you never defend my your title. You're there
Mhm.
1 week, and then we don't see you for, like, you have the Brock Lesnar schedule, woman.
Mhm.
So because of that, I have to change my move, and now
Yeah.
1916 is going to be my finishing move. So we get Katy Kelly. She interviews Shayna Baszler about her match with Shotzi Blackheart. Then Baszler said that she's going to end Shotzi's career and then go through everyone that she must go to become a three-time NXT champion. And Shane and Shazley, they're gonna go, on to the match after the commercial break. And then we get something that Jean Paul is really excited, and me also, is a DIY and a promo for the match with Mustache Mountain on Saturday. We get DIY, like hyping how, like, they got back together. They were tag team champions. They're probably one of the most popular champions in the beginnings of NXT. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
where pretty much got to know Gargano and Champa. And who would have thought that, like, years after, they will be the two main singles guys
Yeah,
that
and
will
the
go
one
the
thing,
biggest story.
the one thing I will say, like you said, they were like the tag team renaissance, because you had the Ascension, you had the Lucha Dragons, and you had Buddy Murphy and
Blake.
Blake. Yeah, so it was like, you didn't really have that many tag teams, and you get the Revival, DIY, Authors of Pain, and once then that was the real beginning of when NXT was a beautiful tag team division. Now they're kind of like lacking the teams, but you get the reunion of DIY, and I'm gonna say it. This is, I think, the third time, because they came in together, then they split, they got back together again when they went up to the main roster, they split again, now they're back together. And of course, right when they're like, yeah, let's do it one time, Worlds Collide. Instantly, I saw, boom, a T-shirt on WWE Shop, DIY reunion. It's like what this is to me. It's almost going to become Shield reunion
Is the
2.0.
Shield. Is
You
the
know what I
Shield.
mean?
You
It's
just
like,
said it,
let's,
sir.
and
You just said it.
that's the one thing. Like I said, I love NXT, but I will also shit on NXT. I'm the same with any show I watch. I'm not gonna just because I love NXT. I'm not gonna just sweep that under the rug and pretend I don't see it. It's like, if you want to reunite DIY for this match, whatever, that's cool. It's gonna be a fantastic match. It could, again, all these matches on Worlds Collide could steal the show. This is definitely one of them. This could be the greatest tag team match of the whole year, and we're only
Yes.
in January.
Yes.
But you don't need to, like, and I understand their whole thing's to make money. If WWE doesn't make money, there's no more wrestling. But like, really, you got to make a shirt for one match.
That's what they
You know
do.
what I mean? Like,
That's
really,
what they
like
do.
that's the thing.
Remember
I was
what they
like,
did
come
with
on.
Roman? Remember what they did
Yep,
with Roman? He
yep.
didn't
When they
even
did,
say
and
I have cancer.
they
And the
did it
shirt
for
was already out.
a house show with the Shield. It was the last time when it was right before
Yes.
Dean left,
Yeah.
and
And became
Seth,
Max
Seth,
Lee.
yeah,
Yeah.
Seth and Roman. It was like the final whatever, and it was like, okay,
Yeah, I mean, like, they
you know what I
always
mean?
do
Like,
that.
yeah.
WWE is in that one. We gotta say it, and I don't care if we offend somebody, but because, like you said, Jean Paul is like the good father that with one hand has the piece of bread, but when he has to crack the whip,
Hmm.
he'll say it. And I will say the same thing. It's all money based.
Hmm.
How many times can you do these reunions? If you're gonna, like, do a reunion, at least use the same shirt that they had.
Hmm.
Bring it back. You
Yeah,
know,
that's because I mean I like classic stuff. If Rey Mysterio comes back, have put Rey Mysterio one of his first shirts when he came to WWE 2003, 2000, whenever. Like that, like that's the shirt I want, a retro shirt. Like, I mean, I did
yes.
see on the Monday Night Raw his new shirt looked legit. I had a bunch of Spanish and stuff on it. It looked cool. I might actually get it if they have a deal on it. But I'm not paying $30 for a shirt, WWE. But
Mm,
that's the thing. Like, we
Always
like the
those prices, damn it.
we like the retro designs. Why do you think that purple Macho Man with the sunglasses is probably one of their best selling shirts ever? Because we
Because it's
like,
the retro one,
yeah, because
yes.
that's what we like. So just sell the retro DIY shirt. That's what people want.
And I agree with you. The whole reunion is legit. Is a good match, but again, don't do this just because I'm thinking of money.
Mm.
And talking about retro very quick, I'm going to touch on it. 2 years ago, they did like a lot of for the Royal Rumble. They did a lot of designs from like all like past Royal Rumbles, and it was really cool. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, come on, do give us more retro. because
Yeah.
at least for you and me, like we remember the old stuff. So that's what like I just wanted like I would like more of that retro stuff. Actually, because the new designs that they have not really too great, and also
No.
because it's always black. You know that like okay, it's like 90 degrees outside. Yeah, I want to wear my Royal Rumble shirt. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, and
you
then
look
you're
if
gonna
you
be
look at
just
my
melt.
closet, like pretty much 90% of my WWE shirts besides that Macho Man one are black.
Yeah, so
Their
that's what
shirts
I
are
mean.
all
Like,
black.
give me a variety of colors too.
Yeah.
So, Mr. The Egg, Shotzi Blackheart with Shayna Baszler, great match. Actually, Shotzi got a lot of offense on Shayna, so Shayna is
Mhm.
doing a great job to portray Shotzi in a really good way. You know, to make her believable, to make her look like somebody that's going to be dangerous, somebody that actually people need to pay attention to. So that's something that Shayna did, and well, Shotzi, like I said, she didn't have a bad showing.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so we're gonna take you like to the last spots of the match. But like
Mhm.
I said, she got a lot of offense on Shayna. So actually, I was very surprised that Shayna was actually she let her do that. But like at some point, even Shotzi, like it seemed like she was gonna win because she
Yeah.
did like a beautiful she did a cannonball. She did a
Yeah, the
cannonball.
Cannonball Senton. Yeah.
She did yeah. Thank you to you, Jean Paul and Nigel, because I was like, what the hell? Looks like a cannonball. But then Nigel said it. And I'm like, okay, good job. So Shotzi goes to the apron and tries to go to the top of the turnbuckle, but Shayna blocks her. Shayna and Shotzi lock up onto the apron, and it ends up with like Blackheart hitting a sliced bread on Shayna's on the apron. See, that's
Mhm.
a really great spot. That was to me like really, really great. Like it came out very, very good, and I was like, okay, Shotzi's legit.
Yeah, and I like
Shotzi's
because like if you just look at her, you think she's like a daredevil. Like I mean, so and I'm not so is Candice LeRae, but I'm gonna say like if you look at Candice LeRae, this little blonde, cute, whatever, you don't think you think she's gonna be like innocent, and then you someone like Shotzi Blackheart, she looks like a daredevil, a risk taker. She looks like someone who will get in there and slug you around, and so that's like the kind of offense I like. And she looked like we said that she looked really good against Shayna Baszler.
Oh yeah, like and like you said, I feel that like she you see the malice, and that's in a
Hmm.
heel, like a kind of like an emo person. And I'm
Hmm.
not saying all emo people are bad, but you see
Hmm.
that little bit of like, okay, I want to hurt this person, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
because
she has
it's a
that like
rivalry.
aggressive side.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
is you're in a rivalry, you got to do that. So she did like the sliced bread on Shayna's into the apron, then Shayna rolls back into the ring, and Shotzi goes for a senton from the top, but Shayna avoids her. Then Shayna logs into the Kirafura clutch immediately. Shotzi tries to try her best to fight out of it, but eventually she taps out. So she,
Hmm.
my notes, I even put eventually. Why?
Yeah.
Because like you said, it was a little bit of time. It
Yeah.
wasn't that she didn't even log the hole, and then
Yep.
no. So
Because
that's really cool.
so she goes. I guess it was for like a senton or something. And like you said, when Shayna caught her, it was maybe 10, 15 seconds or so. Shotzi got on her stomach, and she wasn't like she wasn't laying against Shayna. So Shotzi was underneath, and she almost rolled out of it. Like
She's trying to fight out
yeah,
because
she almost
she
broke
knows
free.
what's coming.
And
She
that's what
knows
I mean. So like we said, there's ways to make people lose, and this was a way to make her lose that she still looks good.
exactly. So and it was gonna be again, like you said, a lot of people are gonna go to the main roster. Raise the
Mhm.
WrestleMania time, so we could see like the main event players, like you said before. They're probably gonna go to the main roster. See, Shotzi is like the new batch of women.
Mhm.
Shotzi, we get even we get
Tegan
Tegan
Knox,
Knox,
Dakota
Dakota
Kai, all
Kai.
them.
They're gonna
Yep.
be taking all those spots.
I could even see, and unfortunately, she will get lost in the shuffle, and it's a shame because she is talented. But Mia Yim is another one who I could easily see getting called up.
Yes, Mia Yim. We get to see finally the debut Scarlett Bordeaux. Like
Hmm.
she could be the one. Chelsea Green. She could also be filling those spots and see that you can see that NXT is set for the future. You are not. There's nothing to worry about. We're gonna get a lot of great still women's wrestling, and hopefully Io Shirai stays. So then we're still gonna get legit stuff. And now talking about Tegan Knox, Mr. Jean Paul, we get a video package about her and Dakota Kai, and they resume. They give us a summary of the whole rivalry that they had, and then Tegan Knox calls out the Dakota Kai, and then she said that like next week they're gonna have finally a match. They're gonna settle their differences. To me, Jean Paul, I think is a little bit too soon. I would have done a
Hmm.
little more. I
Oh
would have
yeah.
saved this for the first match of NXT Takeover Portland.
Now I don't see this being the blow off to the feud, so I think that will definitely still happen. I don't know if it will be at Portland, but it could, even go past that. But I would like to see that be an undercard match. I don't know all the matches they have set in stone. I know it's Champa and Cole, Gargano, and Balor. You're probably going to do something for the tag team belts. Keith Lee's probably going to go against someone, whether I hope they don't do just a rematch with Roderick Strong, but there's something they could do. But this would be a great undercard match.
Oh yeah, we probably could see a return of the Velveteen Dream.
Hmm.
Wouldn't you like that? Velveteen Dream, a returning Velveteen Dream against Keith Lee. Something like that. They could do
As long
something.
as Keith Lee wins, I don't want
Well,
him. I don't want him to be a
hopefully they
transition.
don't do the hot potato. I
Yeah,
agree with you. No,
but
hopefully they don't do that.
for me, like, I mean, this feud, it was legit because it was two friends. That would be like if you turned on me or vice versa. Nobody would see it coming. So like, it was a great story with Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox, and this video, just the way WWE does these video packages and stuff. They could get you excited for a feud between people you don't care about. The way they put the music and they cut to the scenes of the throwing the knee brace and attacking her, and the way they, like I said, just the music and everything they do, they can really get you excited. And
Is
not
the
to
slow
say I
motion
wasn't
even like
excited
for
for it.
example when she's throwing the brace and you go ah,
Yep,
so
exactly. That's
you
what I
get to
mean.
see all of that. I agree
So
with you.
so it hyped me up even more, and I'm excited to see this match.
It is. I'm just so excited, but like I said, I don't know what they're going to do. See, Brooker Jean Paul is telling me that they're going to continue. If they're going
Mm,
to continue, good, because that can even you can stretch it all the way to Portland. But if it's going to be one and done, no, save that for like the first match on in Portland.
yeah.
So we get to see a video package for Mustache Mountain. Like another like one of the best teams in NXT. They were NXT Tag Team Champions. Same thing in NXT UK. They didn't win the championship, but another great team over there.
Mm,
So we got to see Tyler Bate and Trent Seven going into like DIY. It's just gonna be chaos, and it's gonna be good, man. Like you said, you can even pick in the whole card. The whole card, like you have like asterisks.
yeah.
This can be the match of the night. Match of the night. They all
Yeah,
have
because
that
you got
same
like
asterisk.
I said, I was like Dragunov and Balor. I want to see that. Then there's this match. Then there's freaking Imperium versus Undisputed Era. It's like, come on, like how can you pick? This show
Yeah,
is
and
loaded.
then
This
of
this
course
show
Tony
might be
Storm with Rhea Ripley.
yeah,
What?
this show could be better than Portland.
This
You
this
know
can
what I
be
mean?
better than WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This can be
Well, that I don't that I don't doubt.
yeah, well, there you go.
WrestleMania.
See, we don't doubt. So, and then we get to see our favorite Spanish guy. Kathy Kelly's interviewing Angel Garza, and for the American audience, Angel Garza. And she's asking if he's nervous about his match at Worlds Collide. See, we didn't even have this match.
Yeah, and
Another
this
asterisk right
is
there.
another one too.
Yeah, and he says that like he's not worried. And while Swerve thinks that like it's Swerve's house, Garza says that like this is his house. And he
What
says
did he say?
Latinos en la casa. Esta es mi casa. So, guys are like, again, I'm a big fan. Hopefully he retains. We don't know what the other two men are going to be from the NXT UK, but like he said, Devlin, he said
Yeah.
he might be him. He might be, we said Dennis. We were thinking, because, for example, it will make sense. Dennis won at Blackpool. Hey, give him a chance with
Yep.
Garza. So this could be an extremely great match.
And
They
I
didn't.
hope they don't announce it. I hope it's just like you have Swerve come out. I mean, even if you have Angel Garza come out first, I know I like the champion to come out last, but I would like if the UK guys were a surprise. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there might be spoilers on the internet, but they don't officially announce it until the match. Because then they come out, Angel Garza can be like, oh, like, and maybe it's someone who's not even on the active roster. It could be not like a legend, but you bring someone like that in to really hype this up.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that would be something cool.
It will be really legit if you will do something like that, and then it hypes even the pay per view even more. Worlds Collide, like on paper, it seems like it's gonna be probably the best pay per views of 2020, and like you said, it's just January,
Hmm.
so it's gonna be we get a lot of good wrestling, and we're excited about it. As you can see my hand, and it's like I'm good health wise. Okay, it's just like hey, we're excited about it. So we get another excitement thing for Jean Paul Egg because we know that he loves Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne against Imperium.
Bro.
You know, Fabian Agner and Marcel Bartel. Great. This match was like absolutely outstanding. In this one, I didn't know who to pick to win, but we said, okay, bro.
The broser weights.
The Broserweights. Is they're new. Probably they're gonna go with them. But I was thinking, hey, the Undisputed Era is gonna come out, and they're gonna cost Imperium the match just to be even, just to make it one piece. So, your thoughts on this?
Well, you mean like the clean victory?
Yeah,
Or the-
yeah,
I didn't mind it because, like I said, if you would have had two teams that won off cheap tactics, then it would have been like, well, neither of you guys should be here. or there would have been an asterisk next to that win where it's like, hey, you won, and I respect that, but you didn't win clean, so I don't really respect you. At
Yes.
least here you had the Broserweights. They got the clean win. So now you have one team, it's like, hey, we deserve to be here. We didn't have to cheat or rely on interference or anything like that. And that's not, again, to take anything away from the grizzled young veterans, but it just goes along with their heel character. And I feel like if you would have had the Broserweights, get the assistance from Undisputed Era to win, it wouldn't have looked as good for them. So, and that's the thing where, like, Imperium, they still look good. They look strong, but like to me, it's not like them losing clean isn't that big of a deal
No.
because they lost in the ladder match at Blackpool, so it's not like they're undefeated or anything like that craziness. And the main, as talented as they are, the main force of Imperium is Walter.
I
You
was
know
just
what I
gonna
mean?
say
So
that. So
it's
you
just
read my
like,
mind. Without
yeah,
Walter, it wouldn't be a big of a deal. To
yeah.
me, they have the first of all the music.
Okay, you were reading my mind. I just say that is my favorite theme in NXT. As
When
much
you and
as
me
Mhm,
will come out to our wrestling shows that we will be going into, we should come out to that music.
mhm.
We need two more guys that we can just be like, those are
Jeter.
our lackeys. So if anybody wants to be our
Yeah,
lackeys for
yeah. Well,
for
we
the
got
team,
we got Jeter. We just need
yeah,
one
we
more.
we gotta say hi to Onion Strings Jeter. So like you said, like Walter and the music,
Hmm.
but like they lose, so it's fine. They're not like on this. I don't
Yeah,
think they're
because
like
who
as
would?
close
Because
as
let's
Undisputed.
be honest. Who wants to see the grizzled young veterans versus Imperium in the finals? Do
Nobody.
you hear that? The crickets. That's what I hear. Now you
Yeah,
hear
I can
now
hear. Yeah.
now the Broserweights. Come on, everybody's behind the Broserweights except Nigel McGuinness, which
Oh
I do
yeah.
I do I do like how Nigel was like by because he's not really like a heel commentator, but he's the closest they have to a heel. Where he sides with the heels and he's siding with his UK boys and all that. So I did like that.
Oh
That
yeah,
little like
and like you said, for example, it's really cool to see new tag teams, and
mhm,
especially when you have to force yourself to make them a tag team, just because hey, we don't have a really legit story for you. Hey, Kid Lee's gonna be the North American champion, Pete. Sorry. Hey,
mhm,
same thing for you, Matt. What about you to become a tag team, and hey, where you can still keep your main event spot? Because
mhm,
for example, as soon as they became a tag team, we were saying in the finals we're going to be them against Shelly and Kushida.
mhm.
That would have been the most legit final.
Yeah,
But
that
of
would have
course they
been
had
cool.
to
But then
mess it
I
up.
go back to the thing where it's and then we can get into the match here. But it goes back to the face versus face. And to
Yes,
me, that's not as exciting as like now we had the heel versus heel, and of course after the match you had the promo, and there's a history between Pete Dunne and the grizzled young veterans, both being from NXT UK. So it's a better story.
it is
I
a
feel
better
like,
story.
yeah.
It is. So let's go, like you said, like the main event, main highlights of the match. Imperium was dominating for the first length of the match,
Hmm.
and pretty much Pete Dunne on Pete Dunne. So finally, he makes the hot tag, and then Imperium shot Riddle into Dunne, causing the 2-on-1 advantage for Imperium. Bartel tags back, but Riddle takes both Bartel and Agner out with a double knee strikes. Very legit when Matt Riddle hits that. And then Dunn tags back in, and Agner and Bartel hit an elevated DDT into a pin on Dunn, but Riddle saves the pinfall with a knee strike to Bartel. And then that's when Nigel McGuinness was getting, come on, where's the referee in all of this? Come on. So Agner tags in, and Bartel and Agner work together to set up Dunn for a suplex, but Dunn gets Agner into a chokehold, and then Bartel tries to break up the submission, but Riddle gets him into an ankle lock. That was a legit spot. I really love like
Mm.
no, Matt Riddle trying to the ankle lock, and then hits a final flash knee strike. Dunn releases the hold, and Riddle tags in. Dunn spears Bartel into the outside, and Riddle hits a jackhammer on Bartel for a 2 count. Riddle goes to the top turnbuckle, but Agner stops it and follows him to the top. Imperium goes for a Huracan on Riddle, but Riddle avoids that and lands on his feet and hits a suplex on Agner, followed by a final flash knee strike. Dan and Riddle hit a combination suplex and knee like insecurity to the head and pinning Fabian Agner for the 3 count victory. So the Broserweights, they're going to go to the final and they're going to go against the Grills Young Veterans. And they had a really good spot right there. And you want to take us through because it was very funny and the crowd absolutely ate it all.
Yeah, so then of course, the Grizzled Young Veterans come out and you have the Broserweights up there, they're all standing there. The matchup is set for the tournament. They're looking at it and they say, "Oh, the Broserweights and joint manipulation." And obviously like the joint manipulation's what Pete Dunne is his special with the fingers and all that
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
And I actually saw that on the internet. So I don't know because of course, wrestlers, they probably browse the internet just like we do. People online were saying that should have been their name because Matt Riddle, he's
It,
smoking the ganja a little bit, so it's
yeah.
a lot of bit. So, that's the thing they should have said because it's like a joke, joint, like he rolled the joint. So
And
that's they
manipulate because you
yeah,
have to like roll it, and that's
yeah.
manipulation.
So they said like it should be, that should have been their name. People were making a joke, and the Grizzled Young Veterans actually kind of brought that up. They're like, bros or weights or joint manipulation or whatever you guys call yourself. And he cuts this promo on them, blah blah blah, this and that. And as soon as they're done, Matt Riddle has the microphone, and he's like, "Bro." He's like, as soon as you said joint manipulation, my mind, he's like, I got distracted. I was thinking about something else. And I mean, it was just like the crowd's eating it up. And they're just like, Riddle's gonna smoke you. Riddle's gonna
Yeah,
smoke you. And
yeah.
then Pete Dunne cuts a promo and he pretty much says, every time they faced him, that he's won. And even though the Grizzly Young Veterans were like, you're cocky, you think just because all these neckbeards here in the Full Sail crowd think you're the best thing to come out of UK, you're not. You're just cocky. You just care about yourself, this and that. And I like when Pete Dunne cut his promo and he was done, he's like, bro.
Oh,
I do
yeah.
like that. Yeah, that
Oh
I
yeah, like
popped
he
for
like
that.
Pete Dunne and Riddle. I want to say Riddle at the beginning. I didn't enjoy him as much because hey, no tape. He comes out, wearing just like pretty much like boxers. I didn't kind of like enjoy him as much. But now that like he cuts a little bit of promo, I see his character and I know he's funny. He interacts with the crowd. I am
And not
starting
even
to
just
enjoy it,
like
and I know
again.
how legit he is as a wrestler.
I
So
was gonna say, to me, at the end of the day, like I say on Dynamite and stuff, like with the story is important, but at the end of the day, it's what you do for me in the ring. And Matt Riddle, he's one of those guys in the ring. It's hard to say that there's anybody really better than him in NXT or even
I
on the
would,
main roster. You know what I mean? He's just so legit, everything he does. And I respect anybody with an MMA background that comes in there. Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey, even Lesnar, even though I'm not the biggest Lesnar fan, Ken Shamrock, all these guys who went from MMA and then transition to WWE, they have that legitness to them. Every time they hit a
yes,
move, it looks legit. It's not like
yes.
shadow punches on Dustin Rhodes.
No, no,
It's
no, no.
legit.
And no AEW
Yeah.
intended, right there.
And
No.
the one thing that they keep bringing up because we even forgot to mention it too. Last year's winners were two random single stars, Aleister Black and Ricochet.
Yes.
And then they said
Yes.
the inaugural winners, like I've been saying, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor. And it's like they say, like this is only their second week together, and look how they gel. And when they said that, it made me think of you and me when we did Rope Break, how we just gelled
It was
instantly.
just
So you know what
a
I
thing
mean?
of beauty.
When
It took
teams, yeah,
and you came for NXT. We did it wasn't
Cardiff.
Blackpool, it was Cardiff, and then
Yep.
we did also All Out.
Hmm.
So it was just gel, and then we
Hmm.
became the Broserweights, and
Exactly.
then we just joint
Hmm.
manipulation. But that's a topic for another show. So Jean Paul, let's focus on the main event now. Your boy, basking his glory, Kid Lee against Roderick Strong. I want to tell you the match was good, but to me, I'm a man that like when you crown a new champion, you need to finish with your finisher. That didn't happen. The match to
Hmm.
me, it wasn't as great as I would expect it to be. Even like the Undisputed Era was kind of like right there. Like they didn't actually attack him that much. I didn't see a lot of climactic. It wasn't as
Yeah.
climatic as I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be.
And the one thing I will say, I did like how the Undisputed Era, it wasn't like, like it wasn't like, oh, last shot by Adam Cole when Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly were distracting the ref. It wasn't like there was any screwiness, anything like that. I like how it was pretty much just like a legit match. But like you said, it goes back to when I watch old wrestling and I see Bret Hart beat Diesel with a roll up to win the championship or whatever, and it's like, really? Or like Yokozuna, like put the dude in the sharpshooter and fucking tap. That would be like if
Yes,
Stone Cold beat The Rock with a freaking Luthez press, boom, 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 and then
and
pinned
that.
him. It's like,
Yes.
really? No, you gotta hit the finisher, hit the
Yeah.
stunner, hit the power. He should have hit the jackhammer, power bomb, spirit bomb, whatever you want to call it. Done.
Yeah, it should have
That's
been
what I
that way.
like. I mean, unless they're changing his finisher, but I don't think they are.
I don't think so, but like really, like when you said like when he did the move that he won with, I'm like he's gonna kicked out, and then I see
Hmm.
3 count. I'm like really, I'm like what the hell?
Yeah.
But at least we got a new champion in Kid Lee. Everybody wanted him as the champion, so we're all happy and we're all basking in his glory just because Kid Lee is
Limitless.
limitless. So let's take you through some spots in the match and like I said, like the match, well, for what it was, is good. Do I
Hmm.
think it was, for example, a candidate for 2020 best match of the year? No, because they already had matches before, so it's a little bit of the same. But like you said, Undisputed Era didn't interfere. I wanted to see maybe a little more, but now that like then we know what happened afterwards, maybe that's why they didn't do it.
Hmm.
So we're gonna take you through the last moments of the match. Strong covers Keith Lee, but Lee immediately powers out of the pin. Lead his the pounds on Roderick Strong, sending Strong over the top rope and taking out O'Reilly and Fish. Lee gets Strong back in the ring and turns onto Strong inside out with a lariat, covering Strong for a 2 count. Then Lee he gets to his feet and goes to the corner, climbing in the middle rope. Fish and Cole momentarily distract Lee, and Lee goes for a moonsault, but misses. Strong lugs into the ankle lock, and Lee only and hits Lee in the ankle with strikes, but Lee makes it to the ropes and forces a rope break. So, oh, that's a beautiful name. And when have I heard that before?
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
Lee and Strong,
Got to put that on a T-shirt.
and the yeah, that's a good idea. We should do that. Putting rope break on a t-shirt. Lee and Strong both get to their feet, and Strong and Lee trade strikes. Lee knocks down Strong and picks him up for a fireman's carry, but Lee drops Strong and takes out all over the Undisputed Era. And when they get to the apron, Strong hits Lee with the leaping knee to the face of the destruction, but Lee kicks out. Strong runs to the ropes, but Lee catches him, and then he hits the Bing Bang Catastrophe for a 3 count, and then we get a new North American champion. See, where the fuck's the Spirit Bomb? Jean Paul, what the
Yeah,
hell?
that's what I mean. I
Book
mean,
the
I don't
thing
know. Like
right.
I said, it was
Book the thing right.
if I'm booking it, like
Why is he
I
dying?
was almost thinking because I'm like, what are you doing with this for Portland? So I was thinking it was going to be Undisputed Era, like I said. I think I even said it last week. It was to be like a fuck finish. Undisputed Era gets involved, even if it's a DQ, not Roderick wins clean. Then you do like some steel cage match, or you do something where it's like Undisputed Era is banned from ringside. If they come out, Roderick Strong loses and he loses the title. It shouldn't be like he just loses because it's like, who cares? Undisputed Era could come out, but it should be like if Undisputed Era comes down and interfere, not only does Keith Lee win, but he wins the belt. So then Undisputed Era, they're obviously not going to come down. They're not going to cost their boy his belt. So then that would be a way to continue this feud a little bit, get it on Portland, and then, but maybe they think because hey, we want to get Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox. Maybe they want to get them on there, or because you don't want to load Portland up and make it a 4 hour pay per view because then it will have the same complaints we do for WWE pay per views.
That's true. That's
So
true.
maybe they think, hey, we're going to give Keith Lee this win. He's beat up his ankle. They said the whole story was he fought through the pain. He wasn't going to sacrifice his opportunity. He said he's going to come out there. He's going to march to the ring. He's not going to be, he's not going to be a wimp about it or anything. So I think maybe he won't wrestle on Portland. Maybe the belt won't be defended.
Or
Maybe
maybe
they'll
you
have
know
a
you
number one contenders match on Portland, to win or something.
maybe you could do that because you could get Killian Dane. You could get again. You could get the Velveteen Dream to come back.
Yeah,
You can get
Cameron
Damian
Grimes,
Priest,
Damian
Cameron
Priest.
Grimes.
Yep.
You have guys that we haven't seen in maybe 2 weeks already.
Dominic
Good.
Dijakovic.
Dijakovic is
That's
right
who I
here.
want to see feud with him, but I don't want to see it right away because I want Dijakovic to win. Even though,
You
like I
have
said, Keith Lee is my boy, but Dijakovic, man, he's so good.
Jean
He's
Paul,
going.
you know that like there's a ring in the wrestling community, and we know that Killer Cross might be joining NXT also. So that could be hey his first big feud will be Keith Lee. Imagine that.
Yeah, but that's
CM
the
Punk
thing.
even
But that's the thing,
suggested
though.
that
That's the thing. He's gonna if that is for Killer Cross, then he's gonna lose because there's no way that they give this belt to Keith Lee and he
well
loses.
like that like CM Punk thinks like you, and actually CM Punk said that like, he would love Keith Lee to win the Royal Rumble. So who
But
knows?
and see that then that's the thing too. I mean, there's so much. There's a Cain Velasquez, Roman Reigns, even more so. Like
No, 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 no.
let
Please
me
no,
just
no,
say it.
no. Yeah,
But like
no.
If Keith
No.
Lee wins, would they have had him beat Lesnar? I feel like Vince likes him, but I don't know if Vince likes him that much. So
Yeah.
Triple H could have been like, if you're not going to have my boy win at all, you're not getting him at all. So then
Yes.
maybe Vince was like, well, I'm not going to have him beat Lesnar. So then Triple H is like, all right, then he's winning the North American Championship and he's not in the Rumble at all. That's my prediction. I don't think we'll see Keith Lee in the Rumble. I'm saying it right here, even though, like I said, I would like to see him, but I just don't see it because
Yeah.
what's he going to do? Like, is he going to hold two belts on both shows? I don't see it.
Is Kid Lee two belts, but
Yeah.
remember he's limitless, so he could do it.
I
Well,
mean,
we'll see.
if anybody
Let's
could,
hope. For the
it's
best.
him.
Let's hope for the best. Yeah. So Jean Paul, after that, he's celebrating. Of course, he's basking in his glory for his newly title. And then we see all the four members of the Disputed Era are living in the ring. They're all pissed off because hey, they were covered with gold. One of their members doesn't have gold anymore. So Lee is walking out to the back, but Imperium have made their way to ringside, and all four members of Imperium enter the ring, and they brawl with all members of the four members of the Undisputed Era. Security comes down and tries to separate both members of the both teams as the show goes on. So, Jean Paul, I think we cover everything. I think we're all hype. I think we're all excited. We're ready. We're getting up. We're fueling up to a great weekend that is going to be the Royal Rumble weekend. Words Collide is going to be legit. But one thing that you said, and I want to just stress that, and I'm not saying that just to be mean, just to be controversial, just because Road Break, we like to say it how it is. We like to call it how it is. We don't, we don't mask anything. We say it how it is. Walter is the big thing of Imperium. For example, if we will see them, Imperium without Walter, it will not be as impactful as it could have been.
Oh
So
no,
that's how
like
I
you said,
felt when I saw both four members.
Yeah,
both
Eichner
teams fight.
Eichner and Bartel are legit to me. And they should be legit to anybody else who has a brain in their head. If you know anything about wrestling, you watch them; they're legit. Alexander Wolf, I don't know what you want me to say.
A ways from sanity, a legit staple that could have been so much better. But of course, some men called Vinnie Mac, got their hands on that, and they became absolutely irrelevant. They went up to the oblivion.
Yep.
So
So
Jean
it's
Paul,
like, and that's the thing. It's like without Walter's the main focus. That's like he's the main thing. It's like when you put freaking Brutus Beefcake with Hogan. Who do you care about? Do you care about Brutus? No, you care about Hogan.
I might, Brutus because I need a haircut, but that's the only
other
thing.
than that,
But other than that, of course, we did it about brother. But Jean Paul, just like the one thing that I love about this brawl between both factions is how like the chop. He threw Adam Cole, like he made him go 360 because Adam Cole was trying for a super kick and Walter hit a chop and then he turned Adam Cole inside out.
And that's the thing. I like if I'm gonna predict this now. Obviously it's a 4-on-4 match. I would assume a 4-way tag.
Yeah.
But it's like I would love to have just 1-on-1 match. And then, because I want to see Walter beat Adam Cole, and I'm not going to say I want to see him kick Adam Cole's ass and squash him, but that would be a cool match because I would like to see Adam Cole take Walter to the limit more so than a Tyler Bate or John Coffey or whoever that was in
Joe Coffey. Yeah,
it's like so I want to see him or Joe Coffey, and then I want to see him take to the limit, but like Walter to get the win would be so monumental because he needs it. Because I still had that taste in my mouth from Survivor Series when I love Drew McIntyre, but really Claymore kick and done.
And done. Like, and actually, Jean Paul, elaborating from that, he even said in a report the same thing that you're saying. That's what I'm saying. Jean Paul is becoming the best booker in wrestling history. He's been following his steps of one of his idols, Jim Cornette. And it's just
I don't know. Okay, I to clear that up. I don't agree with everything Jim Cornette says. Just want to get that out there.
Well, everybody. Yeah, but I mean,
I do like the old school way of thinking, but not the racist old school way of thinking.
Well, yeah, we don't go into the racist thing. Yeah. Otherwise, he wouldn't be my friend. But we take it all the way. We take it to the extreme. But he said that he didn't care much for his performance at the Survivor Series. It's probably because his role was crappy. Mm-hmm. And also something that your mentality that we've been saying throughout the show is Walter, Adam Cole is never going to beat a man like that size. And if Adam Cole will be to beat Walter, is not even believable.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if they said. I assume it's one fall to a finish.
Yeah, I think
if that's the thing,
Yeah,
if that's the thing, then. Like not to get too much into it, but if I'm booking it, if Undisputed Era wins, obviously Alexander Wolf, I think, is taking the pin.
Probably.
And if you're gonna have Imperium win, I'd like to see Roderick Strong take the pin, because Roderick Strong takes the pin, then it could be like, dude, you're the one who broke the prophecy. You couldn't freaking beat Keith Lee. Now we lose to Imperium, and then like I said, for
You're
a
the
while,
weakest link now. You're
I
becoming the
wanted
weakest
I
link.
wanted Roderick Strong to turn face, because I like Roderick Strong, and I think, like I said, Undisputed Era is super legit, but the time has come. You can't keep these guys together forever. You got to split them up, and that would be the one thing. Roderick Strong could maybe, get split up and become a baby face and be in a singles role. But if they do that, where does he go? But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, to
Yeah.
me, it's just you got to do something to spice up Undisputed Era.
Yeah, you need to do that because it's going into the stale zone.
Hmm.
So we'll see what it is. We'll be here for Worlds Collide. We'll be here tomorrow for SmackDown. We will be here for the Royal Rumble. Tomorrow we have double duty because we're going to be also like talking about previews and predictions for the Royal Rumble. And we'll be here, like I said, for SmackDown on Fox, a show that like is always great at making us feel disappointed. And and
Yeah,
we're not going to feel
that's
limitless.
the thing. It's like
We'll
it,
feel
it was
very
so
limited.
it was so good when SmackDown was on Tuesdays, because then you got Monday Night Raw and SmackDown on Tuesday, and you got the garbage out of the way,
Yeah.
and then we would have had, if it would have been the schedule it is now, we would have had Wednesday with two great 4 hours of professional wrestling, and then nothing on Thursday, NXT UK on Thursday. And then if you watch that, which I wish I had time, and then you had, Friday would just be a day to relax, or, and then Saturday, well, isn't if Friday is hard times, isn't it?
Park Harder, yeah, we're also doing that. So
Yeah,
you
that's it.
guys, the Jean Paul and I were also limitless. So we're gonna do NWA Hard Times because it's gonna be a great pay-per-view. We're
Basketball.
gonna have the return of Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner. We have James Storm with Eli Drake with the Rock and Roll Express. We have Nick Aldis defending his title against Flip Gordon, one of the main guys in Ring of Honor. So it's gonna be a a busy weekend for Road Break like we always is. And like you said, like we hope that we will wish that SmackDown will be actually on Tuesdays, just because it will give us a little bit of time to forget about the disappointment and
Yeah,
how limited we feel after SmackDown
but
Live.
but at least we got so much good wrestling to follow SmackDown, so we can just,
We can
not
just
care about
shout
that,
out the
because what's the Royal Rumble build going to be? I can see it right now. Bobby Roode, Ziggler, Corbin, maybe the Revival, some of these other goons. Roman does a huge suicide dive onto everybody as the show goes off the air, and that's how
yeah,
SmackDown's.
and
And
that's
we
how it's
see the
gonna
logo, the copyright, and done.
and done. Now, and that's how it's gonna be a review. So we're not actually gonna be reviewing. No, we'll be reviewing because actually our
Okay.
one of our buddies is gonna be there. Our friend Otis and Mandy Rose. So that's the story that I'm thinking about. That's what I actually want to see, and of course I want to see my goddess. So guys, this actually, of course, he has to hate on that, but I don't hate because I do love you. And also, before we go off the air, please, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also
Yep.
hit the bell for all the notifications. Every single video that you help us out watching, please comment, like the video. That goes a
Mhm.
long way for us. We love that. We want to keep interacting with all of you. So don't
Yep, and
forget to
yeah,
also.
and please keep, comment. We love the comments, we love the interaction, and like always, again, we just want to thank all the old subscribers, been here since day one, like the Usos day one ish, and then we got all the new subscribers, because we're getting new ones each and every day. That's not just the thing I'm saying to make us sound good. Every day I check, numbers going up. So we're growing every day. We got all the forms of social media listed right there: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We got it all, so please follow us, and we appreciate all the support.
Exactly, and big week for us, Jean Paul. We have like triple duty. I think we're not sleeping. We're gonna try to be limitless. We've been trying to imitate Kid Lee a little bit. We're not gonna have championship around the waist, but we're gonna do our best
Not
to
yet.
keep the best content in the community, in the industry, in the whole entire world. So, in the name of Jean Paul and myself, we both would like to say.
Ah,
Ah!